The following show features stunts performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. No one attempt to recreate or reenact any stunt or activity performed on this show.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Lunark, and in this video I'm going to give you guys a story time about my first time taking magic mushrooms. The story takes place in my sophomore year of high school. I was about 15 at this time, and I had a fresh brain to damage. I was a straight retard, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I was taking any drug under the sun just to experience it. Well, everything except crack, meth, and heroin, because, you know, your boy has limits. I remember it being a nice winter day, and I had just finished my homework and decided to smoke a fat blunt. I mean, like a straight gorilla finger, bruh. I couldn't roll average size joints at this time, so I would dead ass roll like a 3.5 or more. And about halfway through smoking the blunt, bro, I was so gone. I debated to myself if I should just put it away and save it for later or just man it out and smoke it now. I took the bitch route and I put it out and put it in a baggie, but I thought to myself if I should just pull it to my older cousin's house and smoke it with them. Now, I'm very close to my family, so it wasn't unusual for me just to pull up unannounced. And I did just that, bruh. I wanted to pull up and surprise them with the blunt. And when I was pulling up, I had caught them at the perfect time because they were starting to spark up a pre-roll. And I knew it was some fire because as soon as I stepped out of my car, I could just smell it. It smelled like some sweet, like something I just wanted to fucking grab out their hands and bite, you know what I'm saying? As I started to walk up, they were surprised that I pulled up and I was just rubbing my hands like a fucking fly because I knew I was going to get a hit of that joint whether they liked it or not. Now, for context, my cousin's house was right next door to a fucking church. I'm not sure if it was a regular church or a Jewish church. All I knew is it had a Star of Judas in the front, and it was a church, so I don't really give a fuck. As we started rotating the joint, they were telling me about some scary-ass moment they had the night prior. They explained to me that when they went out late at night, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., they started hearing crying and screaming coming from the church. And it spooked them out so much that they stopped smoking and went back inside. And I was laughing to myself because these guys are real fucking tall and like big dudes, so it was unusual for them to get scared. This church also had a really bad roach infestation. I mean, like the sidewalk in front of the church always had at least like 10 dead roach bodies just laid out. It was like a fucking war occurred with the outside roaches and the Jewish church roaches. I mean, like bodies were torn in half, roach heads were decapitated from their bodies and shit. Swear to God, one day I saw like a flag on top of 30 bodies one time. Anyways, they were complaining to me that the problem was getting so bad that the roaches started to migrate towards their house. And I was just telling them just to build a fucking wall or like build a poison trap for them or just bomb the fucking church, you know, just kill the source. When the joint finished up, we walked inside the crib and started talking about movies and games that we were excited to play or see. When suddenly, I haven't given them names, the older one will call him Kirby and the younger one will call him like Lisan or some shit. As we were talking on the couch, Kirby went to his room and came back to the living room with a fat bag of mushrooms. He told me he had just purchased an ounce of shrooms and was planning on eating them tonight with Lisan. Now, personally, I had never tried them before, so I was scared to ask him if I could even have some or just join them. Plus, these guys were like way older than me. They were like 20 and 23 at the time, so I didn't want to put that responsibility of giving someone that young mushrooms. But when I finally built up the courage to ask them, I felt like a little kid. Like, you know when you're eating hot chips and some little retard comes up to you claiming, "My mom lets me eat those." Like, get the fuck away from me, bro. But anyways, I was telling them how it felt and if they see visuals, and they were explaining to me that it felt like a warm sensation in their body with an uncontrollable feeling to laugh and smile. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, sounds like an amazing fucking time to me. So I finally asked them if I could have some, and Lisan and Kirby just looked at each other and said, "I don't know." No, after using my master persuasion skills, they finally let me have some. And Kirby gave Lisan like 3 grams and weighed himself 4 grams, and they were just debating amongst each other on how much to give me until I finally said, "Just give me 4 grams. Now, to let you guys know, 4 grams of pure mushrooms, and I mean like the thick stems and big caps, is a huge fucking dose for your first time, especially at that age. But we ate it with like no water or food, and oh my fucking God, was it horrible. I mean, like, if you guys have never had mushroom before, it tastes like straight dog shit. Like someone ate dog shit, threw it up in your mouth, and willingly ate it. After swallowing it, I asked them how long it would take for it to hit, and they told me about 40 minutes, so we just started watching Family Guy. Man, these guys were some fucking liars, because after 20 minutes, I started to feel like a fucking puppet on strings, like Geppetto was playing with my shit. Super pause. But then this warm feeling started to emerge from my chest. It felt like someone lit a furnace of straight ecstasy in my chest. Like, this shit felt amazing. And after another 20 minutes, Lisan and Kirby just started laughing like crazy, and I couldn't help but laugh with them. Then I realized that the TV was starting to contort. Like, the visuals were taking effect, and I was just feeling it. But nothing bad, like no negative feeling, nothing bad happened. I was just amazed at what I was seeing, and I've always seen videos online on mushroom visuals, but I never expected it to feel and look the way it actually did. Everything was wavy, and the audio sounded distorted as fuck, but it felt good. Like, not once during this whole trip did I have a negative experience. And after about an hour of that, I realized that I was just fucking sweating bullets, bro. Like, I felt like a frog. Then I remembered that I had half a backwoods still. So I told them, let's go outside and smoke it, and they were down. And I was just excited to mix weed with mushrooms, because I've always heard that it intensifies it. And boy, was I fucking right. Because as soon as we started smoking, my fucking trip just boosted 10 times. Like, I blew out the smoke, and I had seen the smoke go up and dance with the stars. It was fucking beautiful. And while we were smoking, we got back on the topic of the church. Then the thought came to Lisan that, what if a human-sized roach came out of the church and yelled at us to stop smoking? We were all dying at the thought of that, because it was fucking stupid. Like, who thinks about that shit? Then, since it was a church, we started talking about the fucking roach come out in a pope costume, like just cursing us out and putting fucking bad juju on the house and shit. It was just a retarded thought. I could just imagine someone walking up to us and hearing us talk about this fucking Pope roach coming out and putting a curse on the house that roaches were just gonna raid it and take everything inside the house. Like, it was just a stupid thought. After just laughing for 10 minutes straight at the thought of that, we forgot that we were smoking the blunt, and the blunt went out. So Kirby went back inside to go grab a lighter, because the one we had used had died, and he came back with a cigarette. He let us know that he was so high that he didn't want to smoke no more, so me and Lisan faced the rest of the blunt. When Kirby was lighting the cigarette, though, I just remember him putting the lighter in his pocket, puffing the cigarette one more time, and the cigarette jumping out of his fucking hand and burning him in the eye. Me and Lisan just fucking lost it, bro. We were laughing until our stomachs was hurting. I started crying because this shit was just the funniest thing I ever seen. In my head, I thought about, like, damn, this cigarette didn't want to get smoked that bad, so I decided to turn around and burn him and smoke him instead. It was just fucking stupid. But after we talked some more, we finished the blunt. We decided to go back inside the house and play Smash Bros. And right as we stood up, Lisan pointed out that a car had crashed in the park nearby, and I didn't believe him, so I walked to the street, and I just couldn't believe it. A fucking car had crashed into a fire hydrant and was just fucked up. Like, it was smoke. It was just done for, bro. And the cherry on top of the whole situation was a random ass fucking horse pulling up to inspect the scene. Like, fucking BoJack Horseman himself pulled up and just checked if the guy was good. I don't remember much of what we said, but I could only imagine how hard we were laughing at the whole situation, because I just imagine being the drunk driver in the car that you just crashed, looking out your window and seeing a fucking horse. Like, what are the odds of that? After some time of cracking jokes and laughing, we went back inside to finish the night, and I just remember playing Smash Bros. And just looking at the colors and the characters, because they were so vibrant, just popped out of the screen, bro. Like, it was so crazy. And in one of the games, one of us picked Donkey Kong, and we couldn't even play because we were just laughing at how realistic he looked. Like, a fucking ape was coming out of the screen, bro. Like, I don't know, it was just so fucking funny. We didn't really do much after that. We just played Smash Bros. And called it the night there. I fell asleep at like 5 a.m. and woke up at 1 p.m. the next day. I woke up with the craziest stomach ache, and it was just crazy. It was so much. That night was one of the best nights I've ever had in my life to this day. But anyways, if you guys enjoy this story, let me know. Leave a comment, like, do something, bro. Please. If you guys want to hear more of these stories, I have way fucking more with countless other substances. So be on the lookout for more shit. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.